The drums rolled like thunder. Feet stamped the earth. Voices rose. The square grew heavy with breath and sound. Fine cloth flashed in the light. Beads shook. Eyes burned bright, searching the crowd. Pride walked before her like a shadow. Beside her stall, a wrinkled hand placed groundnuts in a neat row. Calm, steady, unshaken. Silence clung to her lips, but her eyes spoke strength. Laughter cut the air. You're dirty. You're useless. You belong in the dust. The words fell sharp. They struck deeper than stones. Whispers cracked like dry sticks. Faces turned. Shame spread like smoke. The crowd held its breath. The old one lifted her head. Her voice was low, but it carried far. What you give to the dust will return. The words coiled tight. They struck harder than mockery. Mouths opened, eyes widened. Some stepped back. Some leaned close. Fear and awe walked hand in hand. A hand waved high. Pride threw her voice in the air. Dust speaks nothing. Dust holds nothing. Your words are empty. Her laugh rose sharp, cutting the weight of the moment. The drums returned. Heavier now. Each beat carried warning. Each strike carried truth. The air trembled. The crowd listened. The fire burned low. Wrinkled hands rested on her knees. Eyes shone with wisdom too heavy for words. Smoke curled like secrets waiting to rise. Beads rattled with each step. Cloths shimmered like water. Laughter burst sharp and proud, cutting through the air. Pride walked before her. The man stood still. His face carried no smile. Rich cloth weighed on his shoulders, but his silence weighed more. Loyalty bound him, yet unease grew inside. The old one knelt by the flowing water. Her voice touched the stream like a song. River, carry truth. River, carry strength. River, return what is lost. Elders shook their heads. The words rolled from lip to lip. Pride will bring the storm. Pride will tear the roof from its walls. The man's voice broke the silence. Why throw insult on the old woman? Her answer came sharp. She is nothing. She is dust. Do not waste words on dust. Her hand waved the matter away like smoke. Night fell. The hut lay cold. The fire was gone. The mat was empty. No trace remained but silence. Faint marks pressed in the dirt. Steps led toward the trees, then faded. Darkness swallowed them whole. Far away, drums spoke, slow, heavy, haunting. Their rhythm crawled through the night like a warning. The people gathered. Voices dropped to whispers. Spirits walk. Curses stir. Pride has opened the door. Eyes turned uneasy. Fear sat among them. The drums beat for joy. Hands clapped. Voices rose. Feet stamped the dust. Songs filled the air, and laughter danced with them. The bride shone in her pride, every step followed by eyes of wonder. The gifts were laid before her bright cloth, golden beads, bowls of oil, but in a blink, all vanished. A clay pot smoked, filled with ashes. Gasps struck the air like stones. A strange sound rose. The wind carried a laugh, thin but sharp. Some swore they heard the old woman's voice. Backs stiffened. Mouths fell silent. Goats kicked and oxen stopped. They pulled against the rope, refusing to move when the bride passed. Whips cracked, but the beasts stood still, eyes rolling in fear. The elders shook their heads. Their words cut deep. The spirits are restless. Pride has woken them. The bride's voice rose like thunder. The witch is behind this. She hides in shadows, working evil against me. A calm voice tried to cut through her fury. Do not bring shame with your anger. Joy cannot live where curses are shouted. But her hand waved him away. Silence. No gold can stand if dust is left unchallenged. I will end this insult before all eyes. Strong hands moved. Spears flashed. Men dragged the old one from her place. She stood alone before the crowd, leaning on her stick. No cry left her lips. Her back did not bend. Her eyes held storms, but her feet did not move. Her voice fell soft, yet it struck like iron. A river that mocks the stone will one day find its own bed dry. Fear. Others raised their voices in cheer for the bride's boldness. The square split in two, half trembling, half laughing. The bride raised her hand to boast, but her fingers shook. Dark marks crawled across her skin, twisting like smoke. She pulled her hand close, hiding it from sight. Cloth covered her arms. She smiled wide, but her smile cracked. Only her laughter tried to hold what her body could not. The people leaned close to each other. Their words flowed like a hidden river. The old woman has spoken. Pride brings its own sickness, and the drums that once sang of joy now echoed like warnings in the heart of every listener. The drums pounded loud, calling every ear. Bright robes danced, voices rose like fire in the wind. She moved like a queen, jewels blazing smile, wide as the sun. All eyes followed, whispers of envy flowing behind her steps. She lifted her head to greet the people, but her voice split like a broken calabash. The words stumbled. Silence pressed close. Before the crowd, her gown tore apart. Rich silks turned to ragged cloth, dust clinging like shame. Gasps struck the air. Some hid their mouths, others laughed. Whispers raced like wind in dry grass. Her cry pierced the square. Once she mocked, now she was the jest. Her pride shattered, her beauty stripped. The tap of a stick echoed. Step by step, the old one came. No rush, no fear. The noise died, eyes bent low. The crowd stiffened, torn between fear and wonder. I never cursed you, the voice rang clear. You cursed yourself when you spat on the poor. Now the earth shows you what pride brings. The words cut sharper than blades, leaving no room to hide. He stepped forward, his jaw set like stone. Your beauty is ashes because your heart is ashes. Heads turned aside, nobles shifted, villagers lowered their gaze. No one stood for her. She fell down, voice shaking. Mercy, mama, mercy. The stick lifted, the hand rose, the choice was made. Strength flowed back, but her face bore a scar no jewel could hide. The people saw pride lay broken. Humility stood taller than gold. A hand rose high. The voice cut through the drums. This union is no more. The air broke. Gasps ran like fire. Drums dropped into silence. Whispers rushed between lips. Did you hear? It is ended. Eyes darted. Feet shifted. The ground itself seemed to shake. She clutched her face, but the mark glowed bright. The scar cannot hide. The sun shows all her jewels hung dull. Her voice cracked into dust. She moved slowly, robes torn, glitter gone. No hand reached. No step followed. The gates opened and she passed alone. Little voices rose, sharp as arrows. The proud one has fallen. The mocking one is mocked. Her shadow stretched thin and vanished from the dust. The old hand spread groundnuts once more. Calm/steady. Sure, her stall stood stronger than palaces. Men bowed. Women nodded. Voices softened. Bless you, mama. You carry truth. The crowd bent low before her strength. Her lips curved, small but firm. She gave no boast, no heavy word. Silence itself became her crown. He bent low, forehead near the earth. Wealth without humility is nothing. I see it now. The elders struck their staffs on the ground. Truth has spoken, hands joined. Drums rose again. Songs filled the air. A new place was named for the one who once sold groundnuts. Her honor shall not die. Voices spread from hut to hut, from mouth to mouth. Pride falls, but humility stands forever. The saying took wings. It flew beyond the square. It flew into hearts, and there it stayed. A calm voice rose as the drums faded. The crowd leaned close. The hush carried power greater than sound. The tongue that humiliates is sharper than a knife. The words cut the air clean. Heads lowered. Eyes searched the dust. But it cuts its own hand first. The crowd stirred. Murmurs spread like sparks. Yes, it is true. Those who mock will bleed. Gold flashes bright, but only for a breath. Beauty dazzles, then fades like smoke. See how fast it dies? Glitter blinds, but it does not last. Pride may glitter, but humility outshines it in the end. The words rose strong, rolling like thunder. Yes, humility endures. Yes, it never fades. The people nodded. Children repeated the words with small but steady voices. Pride may glitter, but humility stands forever. The tale closed in truth, carried in mouths, carried in hearts, and the lesson walked with them into tomorrow.